So a dent is being made in the city's affordable housing crisis with the first phase of a new housing development in the Bronx.
And that's only the tip of the iceberg. The Bronx also getting more than $7 million in federal funds to invest in community projects. And here with more details on that is Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson. So great to see you, Borough President. Thanks for being here.
Happy Women's History Month.
Exactly. Happy Women's History Month indeed, right? Well, do you want to begin right now by discussing subway safety? It's on top of everybody's mind right now, specifically what we saw play out in Brooklyn, but also there was a situation in the Mount Eden subway where there was that shooting. And what's the latest
February 12th.
Yeah.
So there have been arrests in that. Unfortunately, a 14-year-old, one of the victims within that shooting on February 12th, was later arrested for an earlier shooting and his involvement in it. 14 years old is just so devastating, and it just is a reminder of the work we must do around young adults and young people, access to guns, the conflicts that they go through, and the need to always deal with it through violence is very painful. Commuters were on their train going home and going to and from locations at 4:30 in the evening, and then subsequent to that, we had an early morning shooting on the BD line at Tremont a week later at 5 a.m. in the morning, and someone lost their lives. It's just traumatic. It is a reminder that, yes, we have to do more to make sure commuters feel safe every day. I know the governor and mayor have been working very closely together, and we want to see more transit police officers, NYPD, Transit District 11 and 12, along the B&D line, the 4 line, as well as the 6 line, and the 2 and 5 lines in our borough.
Yeah, I mean, the governor did deploy the National Guard. Have you seen them in the stations in the Bronx?
So my residents have seen them in a lot of the, obviously, high visibility stations in Manhattan, but certainly the Bronx, we've been working closely with our chief of transit and our commanding officers at TD 11 and 12. But as far as any presence of that in the Bronx, we do not see that.
Where would you like to, I'm sorry, where would you like to see them?
Obviously parts of the 4 line. I think parts of the B&D line that have not always gotten attention.
Yeah.
So 161st Street, Yankee Stadium gets a lot of attention, Fordham Road, the hub, main points where you have a lot of commuters that are coming to the station from various bus lines. But then there are also other parts of the borough that do need to see it. So parts of the East Bronx, the B&D line, and the 2, 5, and 4 line.
Do you, and you know, there's a lot of talk of whether or not it's a militarization of the subway system with more police and the National Guard. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think that we have to do our very best to keep this a balanced process. We have to support the NYPD and rely on them to do this work. And I think recognizing that we do this with Port Authority, with MTA police and other law enforcement, we don't want to militarize the subway system. We want people to feel safe. Random back checks are very concerning for me as well, and we've heard concerns about that also. I think people genuinely want to see police officers on the subway as it's moving, in the subway cars, not just the platforms, the entrance and exits, but on the moving subway as well, since the last series of shootings have been on moving trains.
Well, let's switch gears now and talk about affordable housing. The mayor just announcing a $100 million public-private partnership to build more affordable housing, but the Bronx is kind of a step ahead, aren't they, with the Stevenson Square development? Can you tell us about that?
It's a $125 million investment. Canberra Property Groups and Habitat for Humanity in Soundview. It's phase 1, 117 units of deeply affordable housing, as well as 59 units of affordable home ownership.
Wow.
Very exciting, recognizing our City Council Majority Leader, Amanda Farias, and all the elected officials who were there with us at the groundbreaking. It is an exciting opportunity for Soundview. Stevenson Commons is already there, about 900 units of affordable housing, and this is an extension called Stevenson Square. And it's phase 1. We will start the groundbreaking, as you know, and we look forward to the ribbon cutting, and then we have to get to phase 2, because phase 2 has a park with sensory equipment. It has a new tennis center for the residents of Stevenson's Commons and Stevenson Square, and it's really going to be a great addition for the Soundview community.
That's fantastic. You know, and speaking of money coming your way, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got $12 million for her district, which is obviously parts of the Bronx as well. So how much will the Bronx get out of that $12 million, do you know?
So we're going to get a significant amount. I think it's about several million, maybe about 6 or 7 million. The Riverbed Corporation, Co-op City, will get a youth enrichment center with STEAM and wellness programs for young people. Co-op City, the largest Mitchell-Lama, so it's definitely needed. Also upgrades to many of our existing facilities like playgrounds, basketball courts at the Sotomayor houses, at Bronx River houses, at Monroe houses. So I know those tenant leaders there are very excited, because we need to make sure that we continue to invest in public housing, because the residents and families deserve it when it comes to safe space, when it comes to recreation, when it comes to all of the amenities we know are really necessities. Everyone needs safe spaces. They need basketball courts, playgrounds. They need new new facades. So we're very excited about that, and we want to thank the Congress member for her leadership. She is, you know, a part of our borough, one of our members of Congress, and we've been working very closely with her.
Good.
So much going up in the Bronx right now.
A lot.
What about the Kingsbridge Armory development? Where are you with that?
Oh, we're excited about that. We are reimagining the Kingsbridge Armory. The RFP process has closed as of January. We have several proposals that have been put forth to New York City EDC. There will be an announcement very soon of the actual proposal, but we have 600,000 square feet of complete potential to reimagine what the Kingsbridge Armory could be. The largest armory in the world is in the Bronx, and we want to make sure it's a space for food equity, healthcare, recreation, potentially a museum of salsa. So many different things that we could do in the Bronx at the Kingsbridge Armory. And I really want to recognize the Together Kingsbridge team and our councilmember Pierina Sanchez in Northwest, and so many others that have been really much a part of this process.
We're almost out of time here, but I just want to get a deadline in this Friday because you have Bronx Week coming in May. But there's an important deadline you want to just highlight real quick.
So this year, we're proud to bring back the People's Choice Award, and this year's focus is on the healthcare industry. We're asking residents of the borough to nominate their healthcare hero or shero who has done tremendous work in the healthcare field and submit recommendations to us at ilovethebronx.com by this Friday, March 25th. And whoever gets the most votes will be the official inductee, People's Choice Walk of Fame 2024.
Very
nice. Awesome.
All right, Vanessa, thanks so
We're
much.
very busy.
You're very busy indeed, yes.
We got it all squeezed in there.
Yes,
Thanks so
yes,
much for
thank
your time
you.
this morning. We always appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.